Ladies and gentlemen, respected killers in disguise, polite monsters in nice clothes, let me ask you a funny little question. Ever wonder why the world claps louder for your failure than your success? They smile when you stumble, but go silent when you rise. Strange, isn't it? Like a circus crowd waiting for the clown to trip. But tell me, when was the last time you decided not to be the clown, but the fire that burned the tent down? You've been living in chains so long you started decorating them. You painted them gold, called it safety, called it comfort, called it being realistic. Ha! What a joke. And you played along. You laughed when they laughed at you. You swallowed their lies because it tasted easier than truth. But let me poison you with something better. What if those chains were never real? What if the cage you live in is just your own reflection laughing back at you? They told you patience is a virtue? Funny. Patience is just another word for waiting to die slowly. The kings, the tyrants, the wolves, they never waited. They tore their way through the walls with blood on their hands and silence in their eyes. That's why you don't remember the names of the patient, but you'll never forget the names of the dangerous. Now, tell me, which one do you want etched into history, silence or thunder? You hide your rage like a knife tucked in a velvet box, too polite to unsheath it, too afraid to see how sharp it really is. But the joke's on you. The world already bleeds you every day, and you never even fight back. Look at the scars they carved into your back when you weren't looking. The betrayals, the underestimations, the times they laughed behind your name. And you think you're still safe? Huh. Safety is the greatest hallucination of them all. The monster inside you laughs every time you flinch, every time you smile politely when you want to scream, every time you bow when you want to break bones. That thing inside you isn't your enemy, it's your raw truth, the only honest voice you've got left. But here's the real riddle. Will you keep it caged until it dies? Or will you set it free and let the world choke on its roar? The world lied to you. They told you healing was peace. Healing is war. Every time you stitched yourself back together, they told you to smile, to move on, to forgive. But forgiveness is just a leash they tie around your throat. Look in the mirror. Those cracks aren't accidents. They are battle scars. Proof that you survived what was designed to kill you, and now the reflection staring back is asking the only question that matters. Are you ready to stop playing victim and start playing executioner? You think self-mastery is calm breathing, quiet rooms, meditation, candles. No. Self-mastery is violent. It's war against the part of you that begged for mercy while they crushed you. It's strangling your excuses until they go cold. It's dragging every weakness into the open and breaking its bones so it can never crawl back. Do you understand? Strength isn't about polishing the mask. It's about burning the mask until your real face screams through the ashes. You've been tricked by therapy, dressed like a preacher. They told you the angel on your shoulder would guide you to light. That angel was a muzzle, a leash, a soft little lullaby to keep your hunger silent. But what about the voice you buried, the one that roars when you're alone? That is no demon. That's the truth you've been terrified to accept. Rage, obsession, darkness. Those are not curses. Imagine it. Your rage as the fire that lights the path. Your obsession as the hammer that builds the empire. Your darkness as the shield that makes you untouchable. Why do you think the wolves of history never hid their fangs? because they knew the crowd loves the lie but fears the truth. And fear, my friend, is power. Stop rejecting what makes you dangerous. Stop trying to be normal. Normal is the coffin they nailed shut over your potential. Every time you tried to heal politely, you killed a part of yourself. You buried your real instincts under layers of fake forgiveness and plastic smiles. That is why you still feel hollow. That is why the mirror makes you uneasy, because deep down you know the stranger staring back isn't weak. It's starving, and starvation turns beasts into monsters. Do you feel it? That hunger behind your own eyes? If you're brave enough to bleed, the mirror will show you who you really are. Not the mask, not the polite version. The truth. The predator. The storm. And once you see it, there's no going back. 'Cause the world can't survive when you stop pretending. And you can't survive if you keep pretending. Every king keeps a weapon the world never sees, a blade no one touches, a secret no one whispers. It's not the gold, not the crown, not the soldiers at the gate. The true weapon is hidden in the silence between their thoughts. Ruthlessness with themselves. They carve their own flesh before the enemy does. They kill their weakness before it even breathes. That's why they sit on thrones while the crowd kneels in dust. That's why their names echo across centuries while yours has been swallowed in silence. You've been told to be kind to yourself, to give yourself mercy, to rest, to forgive your mistakes. Tell me, when has mercy ever built an empire? When has self-pity ever raised a crown? Gangsters didn't rise from kindness. Tyrants didn't survive from comfort. Kings weren't sculpted by softness. They were sharpened by their own blade, cut deeper than any rival could cut them. And here you are, patting your own back, excusing your weakness, waiting for life to hand you respect like a gift bag. Look at the truth you hide in the dark. You let yourself slip. You lie to yourself more than your enemies ever could. You comfort yourself when you should be crucifying yourself. You pour excuses over your scars and call it healing. But here's the secret. Your enemies don't give you mercy. They don't forgive your failures. They don't excuse your mistakes. They weaponize them. And every time you treat yourself softly, you give them another bullet to load in the gun. You think kings were lucky? No. They were brutal surgeons of their own soul. They cut out weakness like tumors. They drowned their fear before it could speak. They trained themselves with the cruelty of an executioner, not the comfort of a healer. They were their own judge, jury, and hangman. That's why their shadows still walk through history while the gentle fade like smoke. You want to rule? You want to command silence when you walk into a room? Then stop sparing yourself. Stop hiding from the blade. Your life has been a courtroom. Every day you stand trial, and every day you play the soft judge, letting yourself off easy. But here's the truth no one dares whisper. Until you sentence your weakness to death, you'll remain a servant in your own kingdom. Until you take the axe and bring it down on your excuses, you'll never rise higher than the floor you crawl on. You've been too soft, too forgiving, too human. And until you become your own executioner, you'll never sit on a throne. You think you're human. That's the first lie. They dressed you up, taught you manners, made you smile when you wanted to snarl. They told you to play nice, to follow the rules, to bow your head like a sheep in the field. But deep down, you know the truth. You were never born to graze, you were born to hunt. to rip through silence like a blade through flesh, to walk into a room and make every heart pause because the storm just arrived. Society doesn't fear sheep. Sheep are predictable, harmless, replaceable. That's why they trained you to act like one. Because wolves terrify the crowd. Wolves can't be controlled. Wolves don't beg, they take. And you've been disguising yourself in wool, waiting for approval, waiting for permission. But approval is a leash, and permission is a cage. You were never meant to blend. You were meant to devour. Stop pretending you're gentle. That costume doesn't fit. Every time you try to be soft, it suffocates you. You smile politely while your blood boils. You nod your head while your instincts scream. You laugh with them while secretly fantasizing about tearing their masks off. And then you wonder why you feel empty. Why you feel like something inside you is rotting. It's because the wolf is starving, and it's tired of playing dead. Think about it. The sheep never remember the grass they ate, but they never forget the day the wolf came. Fear brands itself into memory. That's why history remembers conquerors, not caretakers, the ones who took, not the ones who begged. And here you are, still clinging to the hope that being harmless will keep you safe. Safety doesn't exist. It's a fairy tale told to sheep before they're slaughtered. And if you keep playing along, you're next. There's a reason your reflection unsettles you. You know the mask doesn't belong to you. You know the quiet monster behind your eyes is tired of being chained, and the longer you chain it, the more violently it will rise. When it breaks free, it won't come out calm. It won't come out polite. It will come out with claws, with teeth, with a vengeance for every year you silenced it. That's not a warning. It's a promise. The day you drop the mask, the world will learn fear again. The monster inside you isn't your enemy. It's your resurrection. The thing you've been afraid to face. The voice you've been silencing. The hunger you've been starving. That was never weakness. That was the fire waiting to burn you alive and rebuild you from ash. Flames don't ask permission to rise. They consume, they transform, they leave nothing behind but purity. And that's what's happening to you now. The death they wished upon you has become the rebirth they'll regret forever. Every betrayal you carried was a hammer. Every wound they left in you was a forge. Every moment of being underestimated, ignored, laughed at, that was the crucible. You didn't just suffer, you were sharpened. You didn't just survive, you were reforged. Pain carved the armor around your soul. Betrayal lit the fire in your veins. Abandonment hardened your bones into steel. And now the version of you that walks out of the flames isn't human anymore. It's something untold. You thought you needed their approval, their love, their applause. Ha, that was the joke they played on you. The truth is, their rejection was the gift, because it burned away the weakness you didn't want to let go of. It ripped you apart until all that was left was the raw, indestructible core. That core is not polite, it's not fragile, it's not seeking validation. It's hunger, it's chaos, it's revenge wrapped in elegance, and it does not bow for anyone. Do you feel it? The way the fire no longer burns but empowers, the way the scars don't ache but harden into symbols. You're not carrying wounds anymore, you're carrying weapons. Your silence is a weapon, your eyes are weapons. Your presence is a weapon. Every step you take now will carry the weight of everything they tried to destroy. That's why they'll tremble when you return, not because of who you are, but because of what you've become. Understand this, resurrection isn't about coming back the same. It's about returning unrecognizable. They buried a victim, but they are going to meet a tyrant. They mocked a weakling, but they'll face a conqueror. They betrayed a human, but what rises is no longer bound by humanity's chains. This is the price of underestimating you. This is the cost of their cruelty. And when they see you again, they won't recognize your face. They'll recognize their mistake. When they see you again, they won't see the person they abandoned. They'll see the executioner they created.